Guys, this is day number 14 of the 25 days of mental health, and today's subject is going to be on suicidal thoughts. It's a subject which I've not really spoken too much about personally. Um, so, I guess it touches why I want to do this 25 days of mental health, because I want it to be open, I want it to be honest, authentic, I want it to be raw. And I hope it does encourage people to maybe just speak up about how they feel. So I'm going to jump in. Suicidal thoughts. It's something I've experienced for most of my life, and I didn't really know. I didn't really know what it was. I didn't really know why I felt like it. But suicidal thoughts for me doesn't mean I'm about to go and kill myself right now. Uh, it just means, again, from my perspective, it fills a void for an answer, or for something that you might not want to tackle, or you don't know what the answer is. And what I mean by that is, for instance, maybe there was something that you found challenging, or something like a situation that you were almost too scared to tackle. So rather than facing your fear, or facing the challenge, you fill it with a suicidal thought. Because it's almost easier to fill it with that thought than actually, face your fear and tackle what it is you need to. Um, so again, for instance, like myself, it'll be with, you know, maybe going into a new workplace, or meeting new people, which touches on, like my social anxiety, or just, that uncomfortableness, which would then affect my anxiety, then bring on fear. And rather than thinking everything will be okay, which would be rational, you then come in with these irrational thoughts like, I just want to die, I don't want to be here. Because it's a lot easier to process that for me than it would be to just accept it will be okay. It will be difficult, it will be uncomfortable, but it will be okay. All those rational thoughts just disappear, and then you start thinking, but I don't want to be here. I just want to die. What's the point of me living? And everything that you've probably thought, which would be normal and like a normal process, goes out the window. And like, for instance, if I'm around people, or like especially like my other half, who's extremely supportive, I don't really have those thoughts. But it's more the fact that if I'm by myself, and maybe I'm out on my bike, or I'm out elsewhere, that's when the suicidal thoughts would be there. Or when I was younger, it would be like more, I would go out running, and I would have these thoughts, and then all of a sudden it would like spike my adrenaline level, and then I'd have maybe the best run ever. So it's managing to channel those thoughts into something. And for me, it was always physical. I would have to go and physically do something, because if you're just sitting there consumed by these thoughts, it's almost very heavy. It's almost like an actual weight holding you down, like an actual weight on your chest. You start struggling to breathe, or for me, it was like somebody squeezed my head. I just didn't want to be in this world. And when you speak to people about these sort of things, and it's more the fact that people have spoken to me, and I can only touch on my own experience, but all those thoughts, like being suicidal and having suicidal thoughts, is totally different. Because if you're going to actually go and kill yourself, some people say that the only thing that has saved them is maybe thinking about their children, because they need to be there as a parent. It's their duty bound to look after these people they brought into the world, and a lot of the time it's their children that's maybe prevented them from actually following through with killing themselves, or something like that. But when you're having just suicidal thoughts, because they're just suicidal thoughts that don't end up really coming to anything, um, it can be very hard to think about that positive in the moment, or think about, if, for instance, your kids in the moment, because it's just a thought that's a process. And for me, they still happen. They still happen, but I know it comes and goes. I know it's never going to come to anything now, and I need to be open and honest and just say that. When was the last time? Probably not a great deal of time ago. Okay, so yeah, going into a different workplace, petrified, absolutely petrified. I thought, I don't want to do it. Why am I even here? I'm not going to be good enough. No one's going to like me. And yeah, it does touch on like the social anxiety and everything like that. But for me, it would have been easier just to remove myself and just jump off the face of the earth. Which again, it's totally irrational. It's like two minds, and Mike. I'm sitting on a bench just watching myself almost have all these thoughts, and then when the timing's right, I'm like, right, that's enough. I just need to get on with it. But it's not always the case for some people. It's not always the case. It's not always the case, because some people have these thoughts and you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know it, because they wouldn't show any symptoms or signs that they're having these thoughts because it's in their head. You wouldn't expect it, because you might think these people have the perfect lives and all that sort of jargon. Perfect lives doesn't exist, in my opinion. But suicidal thoughts, people could be having them and you wouldn't even be aware. You wouldn't even know it's happening. And I want to make it very normal for people. Again, this is a challenging subject for me, because it does expose a lot of that body armor I've tried to build up for years. But I also want to make it very real for people that those thoughts are just thoughts. I wouldn't say hide away from them. Let them flow, process them, acknowledge them, be aware of them, but also be aware that they are just thoughts, and when they pass, you just continue as normal. Don't fuel the thoughts. For me, these little sort of episodes, they don't last long. When I was younger, it would consume me for days, sometimes weeks, and it would really bring my mood down. It would really, really bring my mood down, especially at school. Everything that I struggled with was like a magnifying glass, and it made these thoughts almost too real. Where now, as an adult, I can see them coming a mile away. So if there's a situation I know that I'm going to struggle with, I'll know that they're going to be coming, so it's fine. And I know they're just thoughts. And that's why I start prepping myself for, like, right, this is good in life. This is what you're doing. This is what your goal is. This is what you want to achieve, and that's the sort of balance. So these episodes are very small. They don't consume for days on end. They do consume a lot of energy, which again nobody will see. But it does take a lot of time to really combat it and process it. Yeah. Yeah, I've not really spoke about the subject to many people before. So these emotions I'm feeling just now they're raw, they're real. I guess on the back end of this video, I just hope that anybody that does or has been through the similar sort of suicidal thought process, that it's normal. It doesn't make you weird. It doesn't make you a freak or anything like that. It's just the way your brain works. But what I would say is, even just now talking about it, what a bloody difference. I'm talking about it to myself, but I know that some people will watch this. Well, I hope some people watch it. But suicidal thoughts doesn't mean that you're actually going to go and kill yourself. It's just filling a void with something that is quite a big challenge that you struggle to tackle. But yeah, that's my take on suicidal thoughts, guys. Positive energy. Good to go. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.